Hey everybody, Amy here with Garden Up Landscape. First off, apologies to anybody who tried to log into the live stream that I attempted to do tonight. I'm not sure what happened. It worked for the test runs, and then when I actually went in to do it, it just was not working. I was getting a spinning loading circle for, I think we were trying for about 30 minutes before I just gave up. So I'm just going to record this video. Um, Completely raw and upload it. So you'll get all of my ums and stutters and everything, all the good stuff, just as if I was live. So jumping right in, I want to talk about how to water for the coming heat wave because a lot of people have been asking about this. I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook and social medias and stuff, and pretty much every gardening group has at least a few people in the last several days that have asked this question. How do I water when the temperatures are going to be over 100 degrees all week? What do I have to do different? How do I protect my plants for this coming heat wave? Or some version of that question. So what I wanted to set this video up to do was to answer those questions. So for the few of you that did log in, I appreciate your time and thank you for sticking that out with me. And I will answer your questions. I've just kind of added it to my bullets here and in my script. So jumping right in, I want to talk about how to keep your plants cool and happy and healthy and, at least alive, at the very least alive. And then also I want to talk about how to keep yourself cool and healthy while you are gardening because, we're going to be outside too. How do you protect yourself while you're outside in this heat? We don't want anybody getting heat exhaustion while we're gardening. So jumping right in. First, watering your plants. So I'm a landscaper. I do gardening as far as perennial landscape plants like flowers. That's my specialty. I'm not great with vegetables. It's a same concept, but totally different science. I've just never actually been a successful vegetable gardener, not lack of trying, but I just focus more on the flower side of things. But I will talk a little bit about watering veggies as well. But what I want to start out by saying is there's a lot of ways to water, and most ways are right, or they're at least okay. They're fine. There's really only a few things that don't work. And just a couple that are really wrong. Like, I wouldn't even know of an example of a wrong way to water. There's just ways that are less efficient, is really what it is. So, and then if you watch your plants and you just listen to them, talk to them, it's not a cliche. You really should just talk to your plants and they'll tell you what they need. You'll be able to see if one's really thirsty or not, and you can put water right on that plant. And then how to water now in this coming heat wave is going to depend a lot on how you watered before. So however you've been doing it is going to affect your plants now. And I'll get into great detail about that. So starting with that means however deep the plant's root go is where you want to get the water to. So basically, if you have plants with strong, deep roots, then you can water more deeply and less frequently. But if you have your irrigation set to water every day for 20 minutes or less, then your plants are going to have shallow roots and they're going to dry out quickly as the soil in that top few inches dries out. And watering them extra long isn't going to help them because if the roots are only a few inches deep, and you water down a foot, they can't get to that water. So giving them extra time isn't really going to help. What you need, if that's the case, is more frequency of watering, which we'll get into again. And I'm saying that a lot, aren't I? Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a lot of reading here because I don't want to forget anything. I've already got it all written out. So you'll need to water much more frequently and during the heat of the day, and you might need to water during the heat of the day, which is a whole other thing. It's much less efficient as a lot of that water will evaporate into the air instead of percolating into the soil. So that's specifically if you have watered not deeply, if you've watered shallowly before leading up to now. So how I water my own yard is deeply and infrequently. So during the cool weeks to prepare for hot days like this. That's really what it is. My negligence in my own yard helps my plants during this kind of heat. I don't have an irrigation system or any timers or anything, so my poor plants are just at my mercy for whenever I remember to get out there and turn on the water. Um, the good thing about that plan is that as long as they are not already drought stressed, they have good deep roots and they are ready for this kind of heat. During the hot days, I will get up early and I'll set the sprinkler on as many zones as I can during the cool hours of the morning. And I might do it once more during the evening. I have been doing that the last couple of days. So, adding the best times to water. The best time to water is always right around sunrise. This time of year, it's between 2 and 6 in the morning. That is the most efficient time for your sprinklers to come on. The next best time to water, or two of them, right after sunrise and then right before sunset, but still with enough time for most of that moisture to burn off of the leaves before the sun goes down. If you leave water on the leaves all night, that creates a moist environment that's perfect for fungus and powdery mildew and all kinds of other things that you just don't want growing on your plants or your lawn or anywhere. And so that's why you don't want to water like right after sundown or at night. And then the worst time to water is during the heat of the day, and that is just because it's completely inefficient. By the time the sprinklers, the water gets up and back down, estimates say half of it's already evaporated, and then by the time it hits the ground's hot, more of it evaporates, so you lose more water than you actually get on your plants if you're broadcast watering during the heat of the day. So, but there are ways to water in the middle of the day, and namely it's a hose with an end right on the base of your plant. That's how you're going to get water on your plants in the heat of the day. Next, I want to talk about annuals in pots and window boxes. These dry out fast. If you've ever had annuals in a small container, you'll know that that little root ball doesn't hold much water, and so it'll dry out really fast in this kind of weather. It's not a bad idea to water twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Make sure to water directly onto the soil and water until it drips from the bottom. That means the soil ball is completely saturated and it's holding as much water as it can. Do not sprinkle over the tops of the leaves. Or most of it will just run off and it won't even touch the soil where it's needed, and some of that water might sit on the leaves, which can magnify the sun's hot rays and burn the leaves, and you don't want that, obviously. And that's for all plants, not just annuals. Don't get water on the leaves if you can avoid it when you're watering during the heat of the day. Okay, next, cool weather crops. So this is things like your sugar snap peas and your spinach and all of those things. A lot of them are not going to be able to handle this kind of heat and sun, and a lot of them might crisp up and die. You can try to get them to live a little longer by adding some shade. You can put up a canopy over them of some sort, or even just rigging up a bed sheet is better than nothing sometimes. The best thing you can do is a shade cloth, because that provides airflow while actually blocking a significant amount of the hot sun. But those get expensive kind of quick, and I'm pretty sure if you tried to buy any right now, you wouldn't find them because everybody's already bought them anyway. So use what you've got, and you might just have to re-sow some of those plants. Spinach is probably going to bolt this week. Same with lettuces. All of those cool weather crops are either going to die or they're going to bolt. That's just what's going to happen. Okay, can you water during the heat of the day? Yes and no. Let me tell you how. Use your hose with a watering wand or handheld sprinkler and put it right on the soil. Do not sprinkle it over the leaves. We already talked about that. And do not try to broadcast water during the heat of the day. As I've already mentioned, most of that water will evaporate, not actually get to your plants. But if you put even a soaker, like if you've got my water wand has a soaker setting, I will actually use that during the heat of the day because it just dumps a whole lot of water in one spot and then that soil cools off and it can percolate down. That's a fairly efficient way to water if you need to during the heat of the day. All right, what's next here? Okay. How to plant in hot weather? I do not recommend it. 100-degree, 110-degree temperatures is definitely not ideal for plants. However, it can be done if you really have to. I already have a video on that posted. I can link it in the description down below, but you can find it on my channel. It's called Planting in Hot Weather. And then I also have a video on how my own sprinklers are set up. I use a lot of quick connectors and things just to make things more efficient, so I'll link that one in the description too. Okay, and then I had a break for questions from the live stream, so let me pull those up, and then I can answer them specifically. So Lainey wanted to know, is it safe to water tomatoes during the day, or should we wait until night or morning? So yes, honestly, by the time I get out to my tomatoes, it's almost always around lunchtime. But it's best to water them in the evening or in the morning. But if you have to water them during the middle of the day, because that's when you have time, then use a hose with a soaker setting so that you can put the water right on the base and don't get any water on the leaves. And that's the same, again, that's the same with all plants. Okay, Karen wants to know, her plan is to water twice a day with the triple-digit temps. Is that okay? Yes, that's actually an excellent idea. If you can water everything, if you can water all of your zones in the morning and then again at night, then that's an excellent plan. When you can water in the evening, it gives the water more time to percolate down into the soil, and it gives the plants more time to absorb the water before it heats up and evaporates. So it is a great time to water. Just again, don't let the water sit on the leaves. And next one, Kathy wanted to know, my soil is very sandy, and to keep the air cool enough to not fry the bunnies, I'm having to run a hose for most of the day. So yeah, it's not very efficient, but you've got several things going on. I might actually recommend putting a mister over your bunny huts. That's something that would just cool that area. And it would probably use a lot less water, because if you're just watering on sandy soil in order to keep one area cool, then you're probably using a lot of water, and it may not be necessary. So I'd look into like a little mister hose that you could just run along the top of your bunny hutches and just mist them if they're really hot. The other option is just put up some kind of a shade cloth on the south side of the hutches, and that would shade the little cages themselves. So that, and I believe those were the 3 questions I got in the my attempt at a live stream. So, and if you have any questions, if I haven't answered them already, or even if I have and you just want clarity, whatever, leave a comment down below. I do respond to all comments that are left on my channel, and I will absolutely respond to yours. Then also, if there's another video like on another gardening topic that you'd like to see, let me know. I'll see if I can put that together for you. And while you're at it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much. It helps me a lot. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of June. It's June 26th right now. I don't think that's quite going to happen. We're just over 400. I think we're at 425 today or something. So I may not make it by June, but maybe by the end of July. That'd be pretty awesome. I'd sure appreciate it. So share videos, all the things. Do all the things. You know what to do with YouTube stuff. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about taking care of ourselves. So if you need to be out in this weather, working in your garden, you'll need to make sure that you are hydrated and dressed appropriately. Drink lots of water. Lots and lots of water. Before, during, and after. We all know this. It's not mind-blowing news or anything, but you gotta remember that when it's hot. And we all know that the temperature of your water is also important. If I leave this water bottle out in the sun when I'm gardening and I go to take a drink, it does more harm than good often. So you've got to keep your water bottle someplace where it's shaded and it'll stay cool. Okay, clothing. Some people are like me. I prefer to wear less clothing. Other people prefer lightweight long sleeves that breathe and wick away moisture and whatnot. So do whatever your preference is, but make sure that you are comfortable. And the most important piece of safety equipment in this kind of heat is actually a hat. My hat, all of my hats have these nice wide brims that keep the sun off of my face, off of my head, and off of my neck. This was my hat that I had before. This was my first one. I found that on the hook and I just thought I'd show it off. I got this when I was 17 years old and I wore it until a couple years ago when I got this one. Can you tell? And my newest ones, I love these. This actually was shown up. I found these on a Facebook ad and I took the chance and ordered them. And they are phenomenal. So it's got this shiny material that reflects the sunlight. So it reflects heat right off of my head. And then you can put water inside here. And that pulls some moisture off of your head as well. And so the marketing on the video for these hats said that it could lower the temperature of your head by about 12 degrees. I'm not sure if it's quite that much, but it sure is better than nothing. So I'm happy. I love these hats. They're absolutely great. I bought them for my whole crew, so that everybody that wants one can have one. So get a cool hat like that. Another great thing to have is some kind of a wet fabric or something around the back of your neck. This tends to cool off your body and keep you from getting like heat stroke and stuff like that. They sell these little wicking spongy material things at like the dollar store. They're really great. Give that a try. I've just used washcloths, get them wet, wrap them around my neck, and I'm good to go for the whole day. Okay, so that's how to prepare for a day out in the sun. What do you do after when you're done? When I'm done gardening on a hot day, my favorite thing to do afterwards is take what I call a cooling shower. So you don't want to just hop into a cold shower because that'll throw your body into shock and it's one of the worst things you could do. So when you hop into the shower, start the water at a comfortably warm temperature, pretty much where you would normally take your shower. And then turn the water down slowly. As you get used to the lower temperature, turn it down a little more until you're literally standing in nice cool water. This way, it brings your body temperature down slowly, you'll feel really refreshed afterwards, and you'll avoid throwing your body into shock, but you don't want to do that. Okay, I think that was everything I wanted to cover. I think the only thing that I said that wasn't really clear, I said what to do if you have historically not watered deeply, but I didn't say what to do if you have watered deeply. And that's just keep doing what you're doing. If you have prepared your plants up to this point to handle this kind of drought by watering deeply and infrequently, then your plants are probably going to be fine. And let's face it, yeah, this weather's weird for us in Spokane, but there's other parts of the country and the world where this is the low at night. Like, plants can handle heat. We just have to prepare them for it. They'll probably be a lot stronger than we think they are. So just keep an eye on things, but try not to stress yourself and don't worry too much. And whatever happens, happens. As much as we love our plants, if something dies, they can be replaced. It's obviously not fun, but it can be done. So on that note, think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on this brief live stream. Not live stream. Again, sorry about that, guys that watched. I hope this information was valuable to you. Feel free to like and comment and share and all the things that I've already mentioned and all that stuff. And I sure appreciate you watching. I do want to say a couple quick things about what's going on at Garden Up. This has been an incredibly busy year. I am just up to my eyeballs in work, and I've been having a hard time keeping up. So I haven't been posting as many videos on the channel, and I'm even falling behind in the actual gardening work. And let's face it, this heat is not helping. So if you're a client, know that I will get to you soon. I promise. I'll be there. And if you would like to become a client, it's going to be a while before we can get to you. I apologize. But, give me a call anyway. The sooner you call, the sooner I can get you on the schedule. And... Oh, videos that are coming. Okay, I've got a lot of really cool ideas for videos. I just haven't had time to do them. So I've got experiments that I'm currently working on. What type of potting soil is actually the best for annuals, which will give you the best results. I'm in the process of that experiment, and I will actually have that video posted fairly soon. I don't know when at this time. But another experiment that I really want to do is microclover in lawns. So before I actually offer that as a service that I want to do, I want to experiment on that in my own yard and make sure that I know what I'm doing, and I can tell people what to expect with these microclover lawns that are becoming very popular because they use less water. Yay! Okay. The videos that are coming are really practical things that you'll want to know about how to grow pretty much anything. It's like the best tools to use in the garden and how to use them effectively. Identifying and removing weeds and pests. And then things like this video where I share practical advice straight from the trenches of my own experience as a professional gardener for over 15 years. And I also, eventually I'll get a blog series going where you can follow my own progress in my yard and watch me attempt to grow vegetables. Should be encouraging for some of you that are struggling because I'm, longtime pro as a flower gardener, but I can't grow vegetables to save my life. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss all that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the garden.